So time for a 4 rib beef. Today I'm going to be roasting this beautiful cut of beef, which could be the centerpiece for any Sunday roast. I'm going to be roasting this with the bones in for that extra bit of flavor. Also, these bones act as a natural rack, which keeps the meat elevated whilst it's cooking. And that in return helps with a more even cooking all around. And if you look more closely, this bit of fat running through the middle is the perfect balance between flavor and texture. So I'm going to take some salt and rub it all over the meat, which is going to flavor the beef and also help the fat to render out and gives it a really nice, lovely, crispy crust on the outside. So as you can see, a lot of that salt is just going to fall off, so it's very hard to actually over salt this cut of beef. So really you want to be generous with the salt. And as it's a big piece of meat, this salt really needs to flavor all inside the beef as well. So I'm also going to season it with a generous amount of pepper as well. So let's just transfer this into a roasting tin, bone side down, and just throw in a few sprigs of thyme and rosemary. And this is just going to perfume this beef. Since I'm going to be using the juices from the meat to make an au jus a bit later, I'll just slice up that large onion and a few cloves of garlic and throw them in as well. So now this is ready to go in the oven. However, before I do that, let's discuss cooking time. Everybody has their own preference when it comes to the level of doneness, but I'm going to cook this medium rare, and arguably that's the best way of cooking this meat. Now I'm going to cook this for 15 minutes for each 500 grams, and this weighs 3.5 kilos. So if you do the maths, that gives you an hour and 45 minutes for it to cook to a medium rare level of doneness. And I'll start off at 220 degrees for about half an hour and then reduce the temperature down to 180 degrees for the remainder of the cooking time. I will also be checking the internal temperature of this meat for about 15 minutes before I expect it to be ready, i.e. 15 minutes before I take it out of the oven, just so that I ensure I don't overcook it. And for that level of doneness, again, that's medium rare, I would be looking at about 49 to 50 degrees Celsius, which translates to about 117 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if my instant thermometer gives me that reading, then that indicates that the meat is ready, and then that can be taken out of the oven. And I'm just going to stick this in the oven for about an hour and 45 minutes. It is is looking absolutely beautiful and also smells really amazing. I'm just going to carefully transfer it to that board and let it rest for about half an hour, and I'll just cover it with a bit of tin foil. So while that beef is resting, I'll be cracking on with that au jus. Add about 1 litre of beef stock, half a litre of good quality wine, bring it up to the boil and simmer it down for about 15 minutes until it reduces down to about half. And the last thing, which is definitely the most fun bit, is to carve this beautiful ribber beef and just serve it with some veggies. And for me, it's time to dig in. This really is going to keep me busy. I don't have time to speak at the moment. Amazing, sensational, peak deliciousness is right on that plate. If you liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't really know what you're waiting for. I guess that's been it for this one. I obviously need to get through the whole lot, so there is a lot of work to be done here. So I'm gonna love you and leave you. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to be busy here for a little while. In fact, let me come round. See you in the next one.